There we go. Hello, hello. This whole delay thing. Okay. I am live. It's Dr. Green. How are y'all? It is another fabulous, blessed Monday. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Another week of Women's History Month. Yes. And this is another topic, okay, that hits a lot of women. We're going to talk about it today. I originally had it scheduled for 2 p.m. and then I realized I have a 2 o'clock appointment. I am literally booked through 9 o'clock tonight with every hour on the hour I have consultations because I'm doing free sessions for women at my events that I'm hosting and guiding and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so our topic today though is what? Why your iron supplements aren't working, okay? And what you need to know very specifically. So, did you know thousands of women are taking iron supplements right now? Are you one of them? Guess what? And their iron levels are still low. Again, are you one of them? Taking iron but still low, right? So, if you've ever been told you're anemic, if you're constantly tired, if you're losing hair, just falling out, not a fun thing, right? If you're feeling dizzy, today I want to explain to you, right, why iron supplements often don't work. Besides making you constipated, that is, right? And what your body actually needs to absorb and actually use iron properly, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So for those of you who are watching me live and even catching the replay, let me know. Say hello when you join. Let me know in the comments where you're joining me from. And if you've ever been told that your iron was low, is that you? Let me know because I want to make sure I reach those who need to be reached, okay? So iron is a struggle for a lot of women, unfortunately. Okay, so there's lots of common symptoms. I'll run through them. Okay, fatigue. Okay, hair shedding. I mentioned brain fog, dizziness, cold hands, cold feet, heavy cycles. Okay, and most women are just told to take iron. Right, you go to your doctor, something's wrong. You get your blood test back. Your iron levels are low. Just go take some over-the-counter iron. Okay, but the real issue is not that you're low on iron. The real issue is that you are not absorbing iron. First and foremost, because you're taking the wrong one, the wrong kind. Yes, why it often fails. Okay, I'll tell you what it does before I even tell you why it fails. I'll tell you what it does. It makes you constipated, right? So then you just get more frustrated and you stop taking it because it's not helping you, but it's also just making things worse. And it makes you toxic actually because once you're constipated now because you're taking iron, that creates other issues in your gut. Right? We know I love talking about the gut, okay? But when you take iron and you're not absorbing iron, okay? Iron absorption requires several things. Number one being stomach acid. Again, that goes back to gut health, right? You need strong stomach acid to be able to break down and actually absorb your iron. And that's not just from a capsule or a tablet, that's also from your food. Okay, so when you're eating food that has iron in it, for example, red meat, you need to be able to break it down. If you're eating a ton of spinach because somebody told you to eat spinach so you can get your iron, guess what? That's not even available to you. So no matter what, how healthy your gut is, you can't break down the iron that's in plants. It's not available to you. There's certain types of iron, and the one that's in plants is not for you to be able to break down. Okay, you need meat to break down iron, to get iron, or take a supplement. Okay, I do both, right? But again, you need strong stomach acid for that. You need vitamin C, right? Not just any old vitamin C either, though, the real kind, right? You need a healthy gut lining to be able to utilize and absorb iron. And you also need minerals. There's lots of them out there. Are you taking the right minerals so you can absorb your iron? Okay. So if those things aren't functioning properly, iron passes right on through your body, not used up at all, not utilized. So you're taking it and it's going right out the back door, right? So it's really, really important when you're taking iron supplements because your doctor told you were anemic to make sure you can actually absorb iron and take an iron form that actually is absorbable as well, okay? Along with the cofactors that you need to be able to absorb the iron and make it work better, like vitamin C, like your minerals, right? So that's why I always talk about taking all your vitamins and minerals in combination so everything, because everything works together. Okay. So now the gut connection. So remember I said strong stomach acid was primary, right? But guess what? The gut connection is super important when it comes to everything. Many women today have gut issues. Okay. Poor digestion, right? You have bloating, you have flatulence, you have indigestion, you have acid reflux, you have GERD, you've got all kinds of issues, just inflammation, okay? Your microbiome is imbalanced, and it is a huge connection between the health of your gut and the amount of iron you're actually able to absorb and the minerals you're able to absorb as well. Because when your gut isn't healthy, minerals aren't absorbed properly, and that includes iron, okay? So, again, everything goes back to the gut. 70 to 80% of your immune function is in the gut. So that's why it's super important to make sure that you have a good, healthy gut so that you can absorb your iron, whether it be by food or a supplement. Okay. So now, the mineral balance. Let's talk about that. Okay. And if you're with me, let me know. Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know you're here and watching, whether it be live or replay. All right. So now the mineral balance, because it matters. Okay. When I say taking your minerals, you can't take too much of one, not enough of another. Okay. So when I talk about minerals, they're very specific ones that you need to metabolize iron. Okay. So for example, copper. Did you know if you have gray hair too soon, you have a copper deficiency? And lots of people are taking iron without copper, creating, guess what? Copper deficiencies. You need B vitamins, and not just biotin, not just B12, right? All of the B vitamins. Again, everything works together in combination, right? You need protein. So, in order to metabolize iron, you need protein. And I'm not talking about plant protein. You need protein that's absorbable, okay? Healthy digestion. So again, going back to your gut health, right? Being able to digest what you do put in your mouth, okay? So because without these things, iron can remain unused in the body. And what happens then, Dr. Green? Well, when you have unused iron in the body, that is toxicity. You literally are rusting out. Have you seen iron outside of the body? What happens to it? It rusts out over time, right? So when you have iron that's in the body not being utilized and it's literally just sitting there, right? Your cells become rusty. I don't want rusty cells. I know I don't. But you don't want that, okay? You want to be able to use what you're putting in. Your body utilizes it, and what it doesn't need, it removes it in the form of waste. Again, having a healthy gut is a good thing to have, okay? So this is why I focus on overall nutritional balance because it matters, okay? So when I say you're anemic or when your doctor tells you you're anemic, I'm not going to ever tell you that you're anemic. I'm going to tell you what you're missing, what your body needs, and how we can get your nutrition in because it doesn't just mean you have an anemia problem or an iron problem. It means what's the surface problem and what's the root problem, okay? On the surface, it just looks like you're anemic. Go take some iron. But at the root of things, why are you iron deficient? Why are you anemic? That's the question you should be asking when your doctor says, "Oh, your labs look like you're anemic." What does that mean, doc? Why am I anemic? So there's people walking around here, women even, who eat red meat, for example, who eat foods that have iron in them, who eat things where they think they're getting in, they supplement. They eat well, they supplement, they're getting all the stuff in that they think they should be utilizing to get iron. But it's again, they still have low iron counts. They still have low hemoglobin, right? They still have all the labs that correlate to you having good, healthy blood. It's still not sufficient. But again, it's because of your overall nutritional balance, number one, right? And then your absorption. How are you absorbing what you're putting in, okay? So now, why does it matter? Dr. Green, you're always talking about supplements and taking the right foundational supplements, the right basis, right? So the Lord tells us, right, everything should be built on what? A strong foundation. Of course, He has to also be talking about His temple. Yes. So this is why I always talk about instead of just taking one supplement, the body needs a complete nutritional foundation. Yes. Not just one thing. Don't ever just take one vitamin or mineral for that matter in isolation because your body needs more than that. When the body has the nutrients that it needs, your energy improves, right? Your metabolism improves, your mineral balance improves. All these different things that have been missing now have what it needs to function properly. So that's why it's super important, again, not to just take anything in isolation, but to make sure that you're doing what your body needs for complete nutrition. Give it the foundation that it needs, okay? So this is why I often recommend starting with a strong nutritional foundation rather than just focusing on just one nutrient. So I will never tell you to just take iron. So even when, like, again, a lot of folks, specifically women I'm talking to here, will go and get B12 injections. They'll go get iron infusions. They'll get all these different things because their labs show that's what they're deficient in, what they need, right? But the question is why? Why are you deficient in those things? I know why your body needs it, but why isn't your body getting it, right? So I often will recommend one system that gives you everything you need, the balanced combination of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, right? Essential nutrients that the body needs. And when I say essential, that means you need it, right? Essential. Okay, you can also talk about, the gut support that you possibly need to absorb these things. But even if you have a gut that is not optimally functioning, okay, the vitamins that I specifically use myself and recommend are designed in a way where you're still going to get optimal nutrition while we correct your gut health at the same time, is what I would recommend, okay? Because gut support is important, okay? And then making sure that you have the metabolic and digestive support at the same time by getting in the right types of fiber, okay? So again, that's the foundational nutrition by taking the right vitamins so that you are supporting what your body needs to produce blood. When you're anemic, it means you don't have strong blood. You need strong blood, okay? Your body needs it, your brain needs it, everything in your body needs it, right? You're made of fluids, and that your blood is made of what? Fluid. You need strong, healthy blood to flow through the body, okay? So I didn't want to be on here too long. I wanted to make sure I jumped on here though and share this topic with you all today before my day got too busy and I didn't get a chance to get back to Facebook. But I wanted to make sure I kept it brief, educational. So I pray you learn something from this because low iron is often not an iron deficiency problem. I want you to walk away with that. Okay. It is not simply being iron deficient. It's an absorption problem. That's what I want you to walk away from. Okay. So if you got nothing else out of this today, low iron is not simply an iron deficiency problem. It is an absorption problem. Okay. So if you've ever taken iron supplements and you still felt tired, that's why. Yeah. Is that you? Let me know. Okay. So again, I hope today's conversation helped explain for you why supplements don't always solve the issue. They don't always solve your fatigue problems, right? Or even your anemia. Okay. Sometimes the body simply just needs better support for several things like digestion, okay? Your mineral balance, your foundational nutrition. Okay, so if you are that person, let me know. I can help you out, of course, like always. That's my goal. So, but if you'd like to learn more about the system that I mentioned today, I can definitely share that with you. So feel free to message me. I'm happy to share that information as always. And you all have another blessed day. I'll be around. Tonight I'm doing an overview at 7 o'clock, another wellness overview as well. If you want the invite to that, let me know. But if this topic specifically resonated with you, let me know that, okay? And then next week, I'm going to talk about why women, specifically over 35, the biggest fitness mistakes you're making. Remember, I used to be a trainer, right? It's still in there. I was a boot camp instructor for 10 years. So, yeah, there's lots of things that I'm going to share next week on what most women are doing wrong, the biggest mistake that they make after they hit a certain age, and when their bodies start changing, but they don't adapt with it. All right. So that's all I have for today. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye bye.